This is the video lesson for multiplying radicals. And you see up top we have a whole bunch of our perfect squares to help us when we simplify. But in general, when we're going to multiply radicals, let's take this. Think of it as multiplying like terms. So we're going to multiply the outside parts. So 2 times 5 is going to give us 10. And then we're going to multiply the inside parts. And the square root of 10 times the square root of 30, we basically just multiply those numbers together. So again, the 10's coming from the numbers outside and the 300 coming from the numbers on the inside. Now, if I rewrite that, what we need to do now is simplify if possible. So we're looking at the square root of 300. And that's where we go back to our simplifying, where we look for the biggest perfect square that's going to go into that. And the biggest perfect square is 100. So make that 100 times 3. So what I have now is we have this 10 that's out in front. We have the square root of 100, and we have the square root of 3. And if you don't need to show that step, that's okay. But now we have 10 times square root of 3. Okay, notice how that 10's there, that comes there, that brings down there. And so now once again, just multiply the stuff that you can. The stuff on the outside, 10 times 10 is 100. And that square root of 3 is hanging out right there. So absolutely fine if you're able to go right from this down to that step, but just a little recap with the simplifying as we go through that. So if we look at number 2, biggest thing here is when we are squaring something, think about what it means to square something, and that is we're going to multiply it by itself. So it's really the exact same problem as something like what we did in number 1, where we do 8 root 5 times 8 times the square root of 5. So I do the same thing where we multiply the things out in front. So 8 times 8 is 64. And then the things underneath, square root of 5 times square root of 5 is square root of 25. And what's unique here is notice how this is a perfect square. So we're left with the 64, and the square root of 25 is 5. And then if I multiply those two things together, 64 times 5, we're going to get 320. And so what you'll notice is sometimes you can start with something that is a radical and it simplifies to something that is not. But bigger picture as far as multiplying radicals, biggest thing is you multiply the like terms, so the outside parts, and the inside parts and the inside parts. And then at that point, it's just a simplifying kind of like the first video.